Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. The main thing to remember when it comes to doing that is that we have to always combine and collect like terms. That is really the main and only thing that there is to it. So just a reminder, what are like terms? Like terms do not have to have the same coefficient necessarily. In fact, generally they won't have the same coefficient, but they do have to have the same variable and also the same power as well that is included in that variable, if any. So to give an example with part A, in order to add these two polynomials, I need to add together 3x squared and 2x squared. Because they both have an x squared, they are considered like terms. I also need to add 4x with negative 3x because both of these terms have an x with them, and so therefore they're like terms. And then last but not least, we have negative 5 and positive 6. And again, those are like terms, those can be combined. So let's now add and subtract those. In this case, we're just adding them really. We have 3x squared plus 2x squared is going to be 5x squared. Then we have 4x minus 3x, which is going to give us 1x. Note that 1x can also just be written as x, so I just wrote x here. And then we have negative 5 plus 6, which is the same as 6 minus 5. That is going to give us 1. And so that is our final answer, 5x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, let's try this next one here. This next one is a little bit different because it's subtracting. So the main thing to keep in mind when subtracting polynomials is that we have to distribute the negative sign through every single thing in our bracket. So this negative sign must be distributed to this negative, or to this 3y cubed. It must be distributed to this negative 5y squared. It must be distributed to 7y. And it must be distributed to negative 2, like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 6y cubed plus 2y squared minus 4y plus 8. So that's just me copying what's in the first brackets. And then we're going to distribute the negative to everything in the second bracket. So we're going to have negative 3y cubed. And then when we have negative 5y squared, recall that when we have two negatives, that makes a positive. So this is actually going to be plus 5y squared. Then we have negative 7y, so let's write that. And then we have negative 2, which also positive 2. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So we're going to combine these two. They're both y cubed terms. Then we have these two, which are both y squareds. Then we have these two, which are both y. And then last but not least, we have these two, which are both just regular constant terms. So let's first add the yellows. We're going to get 6y cubed minus 3y cubed, which is going to just be 3y cubed. Then we have 2y squared plus 5y squared, which is 7y squared. Then we have negative 4y minus 7y, which is going to be negative 11y. And then 8 plus 2 is 10, like that. And so that's going to be our final answer for part B. Okay, let's move on to part C. For part C, we have addition again, so we can actually just go straight to adding them and getting the answer. We don't have to distribute, and the reason why is because when we have the plus sign, it's like just multiplying 1 through to everything, and multiplying 1 through to everything just gets us the same thing. Whereas when we have a negative sign in front, right, that's like multiplying everything by negative 1, which in turn switches the sign, right? And when we switch the sign, we have to, that's a little bit different. We can't forget to flip the sign. Okay, but anyways, let's first add up the p cubeds, then the p squareds, then the p's, and then the constants, okay? So starting with, actually I used pink twice. Sorry, I'm going to use different colors for each one. There we go. Okay, so let's first add up the pinks, which are the p cubeds. 2p cubed plus 5p cubed is 7p cubed. Then the purples, we have negative 3p squared and plus 2p squared, which that's going to end up being negative p squared, right? Because recall that 2 minus 3 is negative 1, right? And negative 1p squared is just the same as negative p squared. Then we have p minus 4p. So recall that p is the same as just 1p. 1 minus 4 is negative 3, so this will be negative 3p. Then we have negative 7 plus 1, which is negative 6. And so this is our final answer for that one. Okay, let's do one more subtracting one. So first thing we need to do for this is we need to distribute this negative sign to everything. So I'm going to just copy down everything in the first bracket. So 10m squared plus 8m minus 12, exactly the way it is. And then I'm going to distribute the negative sign through to everything. So negative 4m squared and then plus 7m, right? Because if we have a negative 7m, that is the same as plus 7m. And then we have minus 3. And then we're going to add 10m squared and negative 4m squared. We're going to add the m's and we're going to add the constants. So let's start with the m squareds. 10m squared minus 4m squared is 6m squared. Then we have 8m plus 7m, which is 15m. Then we have negative 12 minus 3, which is negative 15. And that is our final answer.